It's a late afternoon in suburban Detroit, the kind of winter day where the cold penetrates your clothes and the sky is dull and gray. Inside a small brick house, two little girls are sleeping and wake up to the sound of a loud car pulling up to their driveway. Their father, Robert Williams, steps outside expecting a delivery, yet finds police officers standing in the cold. Before he could understand what's happening, cold metal cuffs were forced onto his wrists. His daughters pressed their faces to the window, surprised and confused by their father being taken away.
In early January of 2018, a thief stole nearly $3,800 worth of merchandise from a Shinoa watch store in Detroit. The owner contacted the police and handed over a low-resolution security image of the suspect. The image was so grainy, and the only distinguishable facts about the suspect were his race and the St. Louis Cardinals cap on his head. That single detail became the foundation for the entire investigation. But Robert Williams, a man with a spot-free record, didn't own a Cardinals hat. He wasn't even a baseball fan. In fact, the only characteristic he happened to share with the suspect in the photo was being a black man in America. This provided evidence for the Detroit Police Department to obtain a warrant for his arrest. Almost 18 months after the facial recognition, DPD called Williams to inform him that he must turn himself into the police without any further information. He was surprised to find DPD at his home in Farmington Wells, blocking his driveway and questioning his wife Melissa in front of their two daughters ages 2 and 5. Police soon handcuffed Williams, where he spent the next 30 hours at the Detroit Detention Center. It wasn't until the next day when Williams was interrogated that it became clear to officers that his arrest was based on erroneous facial recognition.
When Robert Williams returned home after 30 hours in detention, his daughters didn't understand why their father had vanished. The trauma rippled through the family immediately. His daughters began reenacting the arrest as a game, mimicking the officer's words and placing their hands on his wrists, a small sign of how deeply the moment imprinted on them. Williams, meanwhile, carried the humiliation long after his release. Police had collected his fingerprints, DNA, and mugshot, locking him into criminal databases despite the fact that, as the ACLU notes, Mr. Williams was plainly not the man in the security footage. It wasn't just an arrest, it was an intrusion into a family's trust, safety, and everyday life. And Robert Williams wasn't alone. Years before Detroit rewrote its policies, the same technology had already failed other innocent people. In 2019, New Jersey's Najir Parks spent 10 days in jail after a faulty facial recognition match. There's clear evidence that it doesn't work, he said, noting the suspect doesn't look anything like him. In 2022, police arrested 29-year-old Randall Reed on Louisiana warrants, even though, as he said, he had never been to Louisiana. The misidentification left him with no faith in the justice system. These cases reveal a long-standing pattern. Facial recognition misidentifying people, especially Black Americans, and police building cases on shaky algorithmic leads instead of evidence. What happened to Robert Williams wasn't a one-time mistake, but part of a whole systemic failure.
Although Robert Williams was freed and cleared of any wrongdoing, the aftermath left his family traumatized. "I never thought that I would be a cautionary tale," stated Williams in an interview with ACLU. In 2021, the American Civil Rights Organization filed a civil rights lawsuit on Mr. Williams' behalf, refusing to let this violation go unnoticed. The lawsuit alleged that the detective, through his own admissions in the warrant application, misled the judge, resulting in a warrant without the required probable cause. The case also detailed the police department's lack of training in dangers of misuse face recognition technology. In June of 2024, the two parties in this case finalized a formal settlement agreement concluding the lawsuit. Detroit's settlement produced the strongest facial recognition limits ever seen in the country, forcing police to follow strict rules before using the technology. Officers must now fully confirm any facial recognition hit with independent and reliable evidence. Additionally, officers must receive training on the tool's risks, especially its higher misidentification rates for people of color. In addition, the police department has announced that they will conduct an audit of all cases from 2017 to 2023 that relied on facial recognition technology to obtain arrest warrants.
But for Williams, money was never the purpose of the lawsuit. Winning that case can't undo the damage to me and my family, says Williams. The story of Robert Williams reminds us that justice doesn't always come immediately, especially when it comes to technology. His arrest wasn't just a technical glitch, but a breach of fairness. The lesson is that technology doesn't erase bias, but it can reproduce it, magnify it, and ruin someone's life. As citizens, students, and people living in this newly growing digital age, our role is to stay vigilant and understand who builds these tools, who they harm, and who they protect.